Welcome back to the group chat for another episode. It is the Odds On edition on this Thursday, 3rd of April. Phil, how you doing, mate?
Thirsty Thursday. Raiders vs Sharks tonight. I'm very excited for, actually.
Thirsty Thursday.
I'm going to need a beverage for that game because, my God, it's going to be terrible. But Raiders at home should be exciting. A couple of disappointing results in the Prem.
Midweek Prem. Let's go.
Can't really, even without Chris Wood, we're still losing. And even worse, Anthony Elanga scoring against us.
Yeah.
Luckily, he didn't really sally, but...
Respect from... I feel like it's always a good sign of respect when players score and don't celebrate against former clubs. Arsenal, great win. Fulham, thanks for coming. But unfortunately, Everton aren't doing the job for Liverpool or for Arsenal at the moment.
They've
against
had their
Liverpool.
chances.
They have. Who scored for Liverpool? Let's put them up 1-0. Good goal,
it
you
was
said.
Diego. Yeah, Diego Jota.
Come on.
Neto's come close a couple times.
Yeah, some Merseyside derby happening at the moment. I actually looked into a couple of the derbies. Have you seen there's a documentary on the Old Firm derby? One of the Kiwi boys did it.
Oh, really?
Well worth a watch. 24 minutes if you've got a spare 24 minutes.
Absolutely.
It's very good. Yeah, unreal what goes on in Glasgow on the days leading up to the Old Firm. But if we look ahead at this weekend, we've got more EPL. We've got our midweek during the week, naturally. We're back again on Sunday.
Yep.
Manchester derby, speaking of derbies. City, slight favourites, but not as heavy as you'd think.
What are they paying?
About $2.10.
Yeah.
United maybe close to $3 and $3 for the draw as well.
Yeah.
But it is at Old Trafford, isn't it? So you got the Manchester derby, Merseyside derby today. 8 rounds left of EPL, 4 rounds left of A-League. So we're kind of nearing the pointy end of the season when it comes to football. Champions League in a couple weeks' time. Boy, I'm excited for Arsenal versus Real Madrid.
Yep.
Especially with Bukayo Saka back in the lineup and scoring yesterday coming off the bench. So good to see him finding some
really
form.
Good to see him back, isn't it?
What else we got this weekend? What's catching your interest? Yep, you see the NRL tonight. What other games are you looking forward to?
Big Latrell Mitchell
He's
back in the mix, and we were talking about it, and he is going to slot in at centre.
I've called that early. I'm putting that out there. I called it early too.
He did. And they take on the Roosters, who've been a bit hit and miss this season. Obviously, with a few departures from last year, they're struggling to get some results. Rabbitohs obviously coming off a massive win against the Panthers, who have also been a bit average, to say the least. I'm keen to see how the Cowboys do against the Panthers actually tomorrow. And then I guess no was this week.
No.
But plenty of action. Broncos, Tigers, Seagulls, Storm, Titans, Dolphins, Bulldogs, Knights. Eels, Dragons. Dragons run away with that. And
as they should, because the Eels stink.
Dolphins going to struggle. Struggle streak continues for them against the Titans, I think. Eagles, Storms, probably the closest game there.
Yeah, that'll be an intriguing one, especially if the Eagles coming off their win, Storm coming off a loss.
Yeah.
2 of the maybe top 4 teams going at it on
very much so.
Different
number 2 versus number 4, and it's not the way most people would think. Obviously, Seagulls ahead on PD. Bulldogs sitting pretty at the top. Yeah, but as I said, for all I know, it could be Dolphins, whitewash Titans, West Tigers, destroyed Broncos, Storm win by a drop goal.
That's what
Raiders
makes it good, though, right?
Sharks, Cowboys, something like you just can't.
You've actually got no idea what's going on, and that's the beauty of it.
It's been really difficult.
I feel like the try bet, either team to win by 1 to 12 or under 12.5 points, is a great bet, especially when the competition is so tight. Wow. How do we say that? Simile. Is that how you'd say it?
What are you saying?
Like similar.
Yeah.
But similarly. Wow.
Amazing.
Similarly. No.
Simile, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, same as Super Rugby. It is still pretty tight. We've got some pick'em games there. Moana Pacifica favourites in their matchup this week. Hurricanes Blues is the big one.
Favourite.
Yeah, I know. It must be one of their first games as favourites this year. But the big one for me is Hurricanes Blues up at Eden Park this weekend. The Blues glaze is crazy.
How were they $1.45?
They've lost, 3 on the trot, $1.45. Hurricanes, as we said earlier in the week, are back in form. Ruben Love's firing. Our forward pack is half an All Blacks forward pack. And they just put 50 on the Waratahs.
For reference, say it is $1.50 against the Drua. Drua are at home. And you're putting
that is a home game for the Drua, yeah.
You're putting Blues at $1.45? Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm really liking the Hurricanes there, and you'll find that when we get into our betting, we've got the Black Cats versus Pakistan on Sunday, and F1, Japan. Liam Lawson in the Racing Bull, taking on teammate Isaac Hadjer. Sonoda in the Red Bull with Verstappen in his home race. Looking forward to that. I mean, we're going to get some free practice today. Qualifying Saturday.
Meant to be a wet track as well.
Is it raining in Japan?
Meant to be.
Oh, boy. That could make things interesting.
Yep.
So, plenty to look forward to. Plus, we're off to Hamilton today, Phil.
Are we?
For the big Night of Champions on Friday night at Cambridge. Cambridge's biggest party, so they say. And we're going to find out on Friday night. In the rain, in our gumboots.
I did contemplate, actually. I looked at my boots this morning. Do I pack these? But then you have muddy boots in your luggage, and then...
Well, I thought maybe, worst case, we could just run a warehouse job, go get some gummies tomorrow, and an umbrella.
Yeah.
Which we've had to do before. Not get the gummies, but we've had to go buy umbrellas.
Yes.
But yeah, it's meant to be a little wet with that atmospheric river coming over the country over the weekend. But yeah, Night of Champions, the two big races of the night, TAB Trot, $600,000 slot race, and the race by betcha, the big one, $1 million slot race. Plenty of Australian talent coming over. And we've got some New Zealand. So, obviously, we'll be getting some stuff around it, but I've just pulled some stuff from the bookies. And in the $1 million race by betcha, the two Aussies are the best backed with Don Hugo and Leap to Fame. Pretty even at around the $2.40 to $2.60 mark. Don Hugo taking most of the money and about a 60-40 split, or I guess it's a 50-40 split because there's another 10% going on the rest of the field.
I guess a good draw for him as well.
Good draw for Don Hugo, bad draw for Leap of Fame, drawing out wide in the number 8. So he's going to have to do it the hard way, Leap of Fame, in his New Zealand debut. So it'll be interesting to see them go around.
Yep. 7.
Is Merlin at 7s? Or drawn 7?
Yeah.
Yes.
Paying 10s.
Yeah. So Merlin is the best backed Kiwi in the race. Obviously defending champion, winning it last year. So you never know. Lightning may strike twice for Merlin come Friday night. I wonder what they're like in the wet. Because it looks like it's going to be muddy on the track.
It's going to be mushy.
And yeah, I reckon some of those larger odds, I mean, Merlin at $10 feels like you got to get something on it, especially with the conditions. Zachary Butcher still in the seat, and the bike for taking him around. Defending champ, they got to be in the mix for sure.
Yeah,
but for me, the big boss Don Hugo. I prefer Don Hugo over Leap to Fame, I reckon, in that one. So that should be good.
Yeah. Especially at that number 2 spot. Also, I don't mind a bit of Carter, to be honest.
On Republican Party. Carter Dalgetty, the young gun.
Paying 11s, sitting in at 3. I don't know. Maybe even just a place on the Carter Dalgetty. Anything can happen.
Yep.
Especially on a wet night.
Yep. The TAB Trot as well, the locomotive, has been the biggest early mover favourite, coming in from $3.30 to $2.70, holding 80% of the money that we've taken on the Trot. He's got 80% of it, the locomotive.
Really?
Yep.
Amazing.
He's back out to $2.90 at the moment. So if you like the locomotive, at $2.90 seems a fair price potentially. But yeah, we're going to take all that in with a little bit of Kaylee Bell action as well. Rounding off the night, a little bit of Kiwi country. to send us home.
Country Road. Take me home. Also, Oscar Bonavina, 290 as well in that race.
Yeah, we watched Oscar Bonavina win last Friday at Cambridge.
We did.
So,
we did.
Can you run it back? Go
Crystal
2 Fridays
Hackett
in a
that
row?
race. With $126 odds, but...
Is that what the Oscar Bonavina's paying?
No. She's on Kai Valley Hotspur.
Oh, okay.
Oscar Bonavina
Hotspur. I can't
is
back
joint
any Hotspur.
favourite at 290.
Yep.
But Crystal Hackett did me some favours last week, so...
She did?
Might have to follow up. Maybe not in that race, but certainly across the day.
Maybe across the day. And we're actually, during the day tomorrow as well, getting a little tour of some of the stud farms around Hamilton, Waikato. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward
Very
to
informative.
it. Yeah. So we've got a big weekend of racing. Anyway.
What else to do in Cambridge?
Yeah, I guess there's
If
not
you're going to go to Cambridge,
much
that's what
else.
you have to do, don't you?
Yeah. Get amongst
Very
it.
exciting.
Get the gummies on. Get a cowboy
Get the
hat on or
gummies.
something. How'd your betting go last week? And then we'll get into our bets for this week.
Not very good.
No.
Not very successful. There were moments of inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Auckland FC getting up at $1.91.
Yep, as my ladder challenge as well. So we move.
Sure.
Climbing up another rung.
Tizano, fantastic again in the Force jersey.
Yes,
He scored twice.
he did. What's he paying a score this week? Have you looked?
I haven't looked.
I'll look right now.
I wouldn't be
'cause
surprised
I'm
if it's
intrigued.
$1.60.
He should be, honestly. Tizano got up for what was it? The multiverse. Did you have him in any other bets as well?
The Force versus the Highlanders this week.
Still $2.30 Tizano's paying. So I might actually
He
get a
loves
little
it.
piece of that right
He
now
loves
while we're doing the show. Just in case he does move. But Tizano to score once again, $2.30 seems way too good.
If I could, and I can, technically, but it's a bit of a cop-out, I would follow him in again this week for sure. So yeah, obviously scoring twice then against the Reds, which is great work from him.
Mm-hmm.
Alamonte did not happen because the Panthers were pathetic.
The pathetic Panthers.
Pathetic against the Bunnies.
Yep.
And that's why you'll see I'm leaning into a bit of the Cowboys this week, despite the fact that it is the Cowboys. The Panthers were so bad last week. They get Cleary back this week. But if they can't catch a ball, Cleary's not going to matter.
No, exactly.
Warriors plus 4.5 came
Ching.
in. Fantastic. Sebastian Chris did not come in. But that was always going to be a bit of an outlier, that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then... What was my lock? Was it not Auckland?
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
Oh, my God, it wasn't.
What?
No.
What'd you go
That
for your
was
lock?
one of my suggestions. I mentioned...
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned 3 locks.
What did you...
I ended up going for under 47.5 for Tigers, Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
And it hit 50 points. So that's tough.
At least the Wires won.
Yeah.
Silver
so
lining.
I don't care.
Silver lining.
In great fashion as well. So,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, I had a bit of an average week as well with my 50-22. I've just consistently gone 1 for 2 with the second leg, very nearly getting there every single time.
That's tough.
So no success there. I did go 1 for 2 in my lock and laugh. The Yankees absolutely mashed the Brewers on opening weekend, winning all 3 games. They've got these new torpedo bats, and they're a bit thicker in the middle, rather than the bat thickening at the end. So, like, say if you think about a cricket bat, all the meat was on the toe of the baseball bat, and even if you toe it, it's not going as far. So you've got to get it right out the sweet spot. And what they've done now is they've pulled a little bit of the wood back, so it's almost like if you hit the ball out the middle of the cricket bat.
Yeah.
So more wood is in more of the strike zone, and my goodness, the Yankees are sending it.
Yeah.
They've just scored the most amount of runs ever on opening weekend by any team.
That's what you want in the meat, surely.
Exactly. I don't know why it's not been done sooner. Anyway.
Sweet spot.
And other teams are kind of getting onto it, and they are just mashing it as well. So it's great for baseball because everyone loves to see dingers. But yeah, so they got up. The
Dingers,
Highlanders
pal,
could
dingers.
not against the Brumbies.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed.
After getting it close, but yeah. And then, like I said, Auckland FC climbing up another rung on the ladder.
Yeah, where do you sit then in terms of a Highlanders Force matchup?
I think I've backed the Force to win. So I might as well get into it. Well, I'll get to it.
Okay.
40-20, hit me.
Okay. Oh, so we are getting into it.
Yeah, I was going to go straight to my laugh because that involves the Force. But we'll go 40-20, 50-22s first.
Right, Knights coming off a bye. They're up against the Bulldogs. Bulldogs undefeated. Sharks only scoring 6 against him last week. However, it was a centre that scored in Iro, so I'm backing the centre again. And yes, he's also in my fantasy. Don't bring it up. Bradman Best, $2.70 to score. I think if anyone is going to score on that Knights team, it's him busting through about 3 tackles and then dotting it down on the line. Bulldogs probably take out that game. Irrelevant. Cowboys against the Panthers. Panthers have been, I've already talked about it. Just I haven't seen anything good from the Panthers these last couple of weeks. They're 4-1. They've conceded. They have been consistent in one area, and I talk about this every week too. They somehow manage to concede around 30 points every single week. So I see the Cowboys Cowboys put 30 points on against the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I see Cowboys getting some tries here. They might not win it, but 13.5 for me against a very average Panthers side, regardless of Cleary coming back. Their fullback is atrocious. They can't pass the ball. They can get within that margin. So Cowboys plus 13.5.
Nice.
Just paying $1.90, of course. And that is my 40-20.
Nice. I was just looking because I'd be intrigued to see what you have to say about this.
That's 5.32.
Would you 5.32? Oh yeah, that's healthy.
I think people will question the Cowboys pick at 13.5.
Oh well.
But I'm confident the Panthers are that terrible that they can get within that margin.
So if they're that terrible, is it worth a punt on them to miss the 8 at $3.10?
Yeah. Probably. Unless at some point, they're going to get through this rough patch, I think.
Yeah.
And they start getting their injuries back. Dylan Edwards come back into the mix. You're looking like a different team all of a sudden.
Yeah. They're only $1.50 to miss the 4.
So maybe not. But
yeah.
I see them having a surge at some point in the season. Right now, they are abysmal.
Yeah. All right, my 50-22 to hopefully get up. I'm going over 60.5 points in the Crusaders Drua. I did the Crusaders Moana game last week, and it absolutely flew over and was set as a higher total here. It is the draw at home. It does look a little bit wet in Fiji, but the Crusaders are conceding points like no tomorrow. But they also score points similarly to the Drua. I think I said it right that time. Wow. When you don't think about it.
Yep. You overthink it.
Wow. So over 60.5 points is the first leg, and then Hurricanes plus 5.5. Just going to play it safe, take the points to get me a double of $6.73. Get me back into the greens because I'm in the reds now in my 50-22. And that feels criminal because I should not be in the reds.
No, you should not be.
So that's what I'm doing.
So total points.
Over 60.5 total points in the Crusaders draw game. Hurricanes plus 5.5 against the Blues.
I like at least one of those.
I think
so. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Yeah, of course.
All right.
I'm surprised you didn't go Blues minus 5.5.
Well, I tried that against the Hurricanes last week, back in the Waratahs. Now I'm going to put my money with the Hurricanes and back the home team.
Sorry, Hurricanes fans.
Lock first laugh. What do you got?
This was quite difficult this week for me. But I think lock for this Chiefs-Reds game with a better... We talked about this weather in Cambridge. It's going to be hosing down. And I think very similarly is that the Chiefs versus Reds game is going to be hosing down as well. It's sitting around 56.5 points total. I think that's too much. I don't see a lot of running rugby happening. So we're going unders, $1.87.
Yep.
The laugh, we head to my fantasy team and we head to my wing fullbacks. No Skelton, he's injured. We've still got Connor Tracy. We've still got Mark Nawakatinawasi. We've still got Jack Bostock. So all three of those to score for me this week.
A little fantasy trio.
Indeed.
Cool. We'll take that.
13.63.
I'm going to go for my lock, Macca Springer, to dot down. Scored last week for the Crusaders. Did it for me at $1.55 or something. We now get him at $1.85 against Fiji.
So you're running it back.
Running it back with Macca Springer. I was tossing up between him and Severis, but Severis has let me down, and Macca Springer has not. So give me Macca Springer. And then for my laugh, I'm going to do a Super Rugby perfect round. So I've just picked the 5 games, and I'm going Reds plus 12.5 to start with.
Yep.
I'm going Waratahs to win, Crusaders to win, Hurricanes to win, Force to win, which gets me $22.84.
You don't back Moana after last week?
No. I'd like to see them win, but...
Where's the womp-womp noise? Give this man the womp-womp noise. Marty Savia hat trick.
I mean, great if they do win. It is a bit of a laugh, this one. So,
I respect it.
Yeah, okay.
You're doubling down on the Waratahs?
Yep.
I
am. I didn't know how I feel about it.
Yep.
I kind of thought, I'd heard a wise man once said with his multis that if it was a heavy favourites and long shot, he'd take the favourite. If it's tight, around the $1.90, $2 mark, take the underdog. So that was kind of the route I went with for this week's Super Rugby multi. And then just to wrap things up, I've got the ladder challenge because Auckland FC got up last week. I'm going to run it back with them again because why not? You get a similar price playing the Wanderers. Auckland FC, $1.95 to beat the Wanderers at home as well.
Oh, very nice.
So it feels like a no-brainer. And that'll turn my $38.20 into $74.49.
He's climbing.
So we're climbing up the rungs.
We've said similar a lot this podcast.
I know. I think we've just got in the heads and,
Similarly.
Once we get off, I'm going to search it up and see.
Similarly.
Similarly?
No.
Wow. Okay, let's wrap it up there.
Sounds like that freaking Lord of the Rings book. The Cimmerian. One of those ones.
Yeah. I keep seeing all these TikToks and people that their brains just stop working, and that is quality content. They just start talking. They can't say it. It'll be like trying to say Starbucks coffee cup, and they'll be like Carbucks Stoffy cup, and they're just like, what?
They
just can't do it.
Spoonerisms.
So
my brain stopped working after Langer scored against us. So yeah, GG.
Yeah,
my week's been written off.
Fair enough. If you are going to have a punt, make sure you do it responsibly. Do have some fun this weekend. Phil and I will be having fun up in Cambridge. Party, Night of Champions. If you do want to follow along with our bets, they'll be on our profiles, won't they, Phil?
Yes, indeedy.
You'll beauty. And Phil, will catch you next week. I will not. I'll be back in a couple weeks' time. So you'll have Phil and Goran running the car.
Yapping it up.
So make sure you tune in next week. And thank you for listening.